Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me once again for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. How's it going? If you were looking for the spot to talk about saving for retirement, you are indeed in the correct place. So if you're not currently a member, don't worry about it now. We'll talk about it at the end. You enjoyed this episode and you decide for yourselves, okay? So we're going to start this the way we always do by me asking you, how are you doing? How's it going? How are you faring? I will always start this that way because we're all so busy. I get it. And we forget family, friends, coworkers to even ask the question. And so I just want you to know there is somebody out there thinking about you, wishing for your success, and just know, you got a shoulder. You have somebody willing to listen and to maybe, help. And here's the thing about help. It doesn't always have to be me coming up with solutions for you. No, 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 no. I think what is really important is that connection with people. Just knowing that there's somebody who's got your back. That is so important, at least to me. And, based on some of the comments I've gotten from some of you, you guys are thinking the exact same thing or pretty darn near to it. So just know we're here for you if you want to connect. And, I just want you to know that. It's just very important to me because, a lady at work said to me one time, she didn't even know I do these podcasts. She goes, I always like talking to you because it just feels in hearing you that you care, that when you ask a question, you really want to hear the response. And I go, that is the most wonderful thing you could have said to me because for me, just connecting with others is super important. So just know you got a community out here if you choose to take advantage of it, okay? So, how's it going with me? There have been some interesting things going on the last couple of days because you know how I've been about tracking your expenses and looking for the cheapest way to live and to take care of your bills. Well, one thing I didn't have access to was inexpensive money to refinance my student loans. Currently they're federal loans, and I have 5 different loans. They are 5 different rates, but all together they average about 7%. Which, think about it, that's a lot to pay for a student loan. It just is because you're just trying to put every dollar you have into paying off the loans. And before you even get there, you've got this large interest bill first, right? So, I kept getting these offers for cheaper student loan refinancing. And finally, I found a few companies, all of them under 5%. Now, the two that I'm working with are in the 3% range. And I just feel that is amazing because the money that I've been, socking at my student debt, it can go down even faster with a lower interest rate. So that is what I'm working on right now. Kind of like dueling banjos for me. I talk to one, I talk to another, and they're both seeing what they can do. And it looks like we're on our way to that lower rate. I'll let you know what happens when all is said and done. But it's amazing because, I've been one of those, I plug away. That is just what I do. I put my head down and do what I need to do. So, if I was stuck at 7% for the life of the loan, well, then I just was. But to know that there are options, that feels like a huge weight lifting off of me. And so I am just really excited and hopeful that it gets me to where I want to go. So speaking of getting folks where they want to go, okay, before we start anything, you know how I am. That blank sheet of paper, ta-da! So what we're going to want to do is always make sure to do your bills for a month. Just make sure that top line is your income. And your income, what it should include, woulda, shoulda, coulda. I'm hopeful that it will include the fact that you have talked to your HR department and you have set up a retirement account of some sort. There's the alphabet soup out there, and there's lots of options for many of us. So, whatever you need to do, I'm hopeful that you're doing that. So, that first line is your net. It's going to be less your retirement savings account. The first line is going to be pay yourself first. I think I forgot to mention that the last time we were on. And we are as important as our bills. And so, whatever you do, put that money away for you. Because, I put money away, emergency saving. I put money away to pay my insurance bill every 6 months. That's how I do it because it is cheaper for me to do that. I have regular savings. I have money that I put away to pay income taxes that I suspect I will have to pay. I've had to pay every year now since 2018 when the new administration took over. The first Trump administration changed the tax laws, and things that I used to be able to write off, I no longer could. So I just had to make adjustments, and I have money set aside for that, and a fun account too for vacations and stuff like that. So pay yourself first. Also, what's included in pay myself first is our basic types of things, but my pocket money, I do that. And my massages, I have 2 massages every month without fail. I make sure that I can cover that because for me it's just very important. It's just taking care of me. And then pocket money, because if I can avoid it, I don't pull out a credit card for my expenses. Now, stores seem to be changing that. If you go to a self checkout or some other stores, I couldn't believe it. I went to a soup and sandwich place one time. I pulled out my cash to pay for my sandwich, and the young man said, "I'm so sorry, we can't take cash." What? I just had to learn that there are businesses out there that will not accept cash. I think that is, wow. I don't even know what to say about it, but they won't take cash. So whip out the credit card. But what I do is I pay that off every single month. I don't maintain a balance because look at the interest rates your cards are charging you. They're going to get their money one way or the other. Not from me. Nope. I use that card. I rack up the rewards and cash out on those every single month, but I will pay it off. So everything that comes due, I don't write a check. I pay it through transfers. I pay things automatically. Bank and me, just done. Just take care of it. So just make sure to take care of yourselves. If you can avoid using that credit card, please do. Because like I said, businesses are going to get their money off of you if you let them. And I do things that y'all aren't getting your money. Get your hands out of my pocket, because what's there is mine and I am keeping it. So after that, that first line is your net income. And that second is pay yourself first in any way that looks for you. Just make sure to take care of that. Then your bills. And whatever you do, keep an eye on it. Because, a few sessions ago, I told you how there was one of my utility companies. I had been paying this the same time every month for years. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you're late. We're going to charge you $1.25, $1.50." No. Keep an eye on all of that, because if you're not keeping an eye on your money, somebody else is. So just make sure to pay attention to that and ask us for suggestions, help, whatever we can do. We are more than happy to help. And, I feel for especially younger people, it hits every age group. But younger people, I have just been reading about their struggles with money. A lot of them have student debt. A lot of them have children. And they're just trying to keep their head above water. They can't save, or they don't feel like they can save enough for a house just all these things that are coming at them. And in addition to that, I think it was Gen Z and millennials especially who are like, I want to live in the now. I want to take care of my debts. Personal freedom is very important to me, to them, that age group. And they're saying, I just don't have the money to put away for retirement. On the one hand, I can understand those feelings. I truly can. Because, I may come off as confident, and for the most part, I am. But it's a choice every day to live the way that I do, to make sure everything gets paid, to make sure I'm saving enough for just whatever, and plus retirement. I just feel like I have to take care of all of those things. If you give ground somewhere, will you get it back? And the whole business with retirement savings, and I'm not saying put every dime you have into retirement. Use a little bit of discretion here. Start at that 5%, that we were talking about before. Put away 5% and maybe increase it if you feel like you can. Life is a balance, right? You have to take care of today because, we work hard, don't we? And the idea you can't spend anything today to have some fun, that's insane. No, you got to take care of both. Just make sure you're taking care of things for today, but also for tomorrow. Because I'm also reading stories about people in their 70s and 80s who didn't do any of that. They thought Social Security was going to take care of everything. And the thing with that is it was never designed to take care of everything. It was meant to help, absolutely meant to help, but not created to take care of your every need. And so they all retired without knowing how much they could expect in retirement and found out it was about half of what they actually needed. That breaks my heart. And it breaks my heart for them and for younger people coming up who aren't availing themselves of the information that they need. You have to, and I won't even say you have to, because as we've discussed before, money wasn't discussed in my home. It was about go out, get a good job, education, take care of yourself, pay your bills, all that sort of stuff, but not any of the details. Details are important. Details matter. And just knowing what to expect, how much you'll have to put away to make your dreams a reality. Putting money away for retirement, don't bankrupt yourself to do that, but make sure you do it on a consistent basis. And maybe you won't have $1 million at retirement. I won't. But it'll sure be nice to have a few $100,000 to take care of you through your golden years. And like we said before, just as an example, if a 65-year-old wants to retire, hey, if you've got the funds, why not? But just remember, whatever you've saved, whatever you're looking for from Social Security, just, pay attention to all of that, because all of it has to last you until you're 100. And with this example of a 65-year-old, that money needs to last for 35 years. It is not a piggy bank where you just, woohoo, let's go party. That is your freedom. You are buying your way, as I choose to look at it, buying my way out of the 9 to 5 by putting away money for my future needs. I look at that. That's just important to me. I'm having fun at life. I really am. And you can do it by kind of backing away from some things. You don't have to go out and eat every single night, even every single week. But just, in all things in moderation, whatever that looks like for you. Okay? And with that, we like to keep this in the 15-minute range because you all are busy. I know I don't want to take up too much of your time, but it's just important for me to share with you things I've come across, things I'm learning, just so you have an idea of what's coming your way. Okay, so I just want to make sure to do that. And at the beginning of this, I said, if you are not currently a member of this community, we would love to have you. You see where it says subscribe? Just click that, follow it. It's going to ask you for your email address. Just know this is completely free. I will never ask for any money for us to have these conversations, ever, ever, ever. It is so important to me to share what I've learned because you know what? This is what I had wished for decades ago. And I tried, there were a whole bunch of money managers. I could name them all off for you. But there came times when they said things, I'm like, I can't do that. That makes no sense for me at my income level to do. It made no sense. And so I never had anybody who spoke my language. And we're just normal people here. The normal folks. I don't make 100,000. You might not make 100,000. You might make more than $100,000. Whatever it is, just all are welcome underneath this tent. And we just all need to learn how to take care of ourselves now and into the future. So just follow that link, subscribe. And what will happen is when I do these, they'll come to your email box. So you can read them. You can share them with somebody else because you know at least one person who's struggling out there and could possibly use this information. So forward it to them. You know, you could put it on your social media. I do that sometimes too. Just sharing with people, just letting people know because not everybody does. So I just like to share. I do that. And then you can also, the episodes, just save them. We've got 80 some of them going on right now. I can't even believe we've been together that long. I'm loving every minute of sharing with you. I hope that you're enjoying these as well. So with that, we're going to wrap this up. I thank you so very much for joining me for Get Your Money Right with Yvonne. I'm Yvonne. And folks, please, whatever you do, be good to yourselves. And please be good to other people too, because you know, we're all we've got. Kindness goes an awful long way. So just make sure to spread kindness wherever you can. Just if somebody looks nice or somebody seems to be struggling, acknowledge it. Because you know, in that moment, that person, it may mean the world to them, and you'll feel pretty good too, I'll bet. So with that, you take care, okay? Bye-bye.